What is going on, everybody? Jay here. Today was extremely volatile in the markets. If you woke up early this morning and saw your portfolio getting absolutely obliterated, there was a bunch of things happening around in America and also over in China that led to the markets to sell off hard this morning. But if you look at the chart of today, we had a nice comeback from this morning. It was brutal this morning. Stocks like Palantir were getting absolutely destroyed. And all the bank stocks, oh my goodness. If you're in any bank stocks, you got your ass handed to you today. But I want to go through why all this happened. What the hell is going on in the stock market? Am I buying shares? Am I selling some of the profits I made? And I'm going to let you know exactly what I'm doing in this video. All right, let's kick things off. All right, here we go. The Dow Jones dives 450 points on Moody's bank downgrades, and Palantir plunges on earnings. Palantir actually, they went down first thing after hours yesterday. Then, after they announced the $1 billion stock repurchase program, it went back up to over $18, and this morning it absolutely plummeted. I knew this happened. If you watched my video I did yesterday, I said Palantir going back into the 16s and the 15s over the next few weeks was very possible. I didn't realize it would happen this fast, but I think people are taking some profits. The stock ran up from the $7 range all the way up to the 20s, so it's perfectly normal for some people to take profits. I am a long-term Palantir shareholder, so I'm not going to be selling any of my shares of Palantir. I'm actually going to sell some puts, man. Since it crashed like 10% today into the 15s and 16s, I want to sell puts in that $12 range. I'm always happy to buy Palantir in the $12 range. So let's get into this article about the Dow Jones diving 450 points. Moody's downgraded 10 regional and mid-sized banks today. As you know, there's been a huge banking crisis over the last year. There's been a lot of bank runs. And what a bank run is when this bank, they get over-leveraged, right? They have their deposits in, and they're making investments based on their deposits. And then, because right now they're locked into these bonds and treasuries at really low rates, right? So now what's happening is people that are in these banks aren't getting shit on their money. So what they're doing is they're taking that money out and going into treasuries and other places like SoFi that are offering like 4 or 5% in their savings accounts, right? So what's happening, a bank run's happening. So everyone's pulling their money out at once, and then these banks can go bust from this happening. So as the Fed continues to raise rates, which they did again, which is absolutely insane, the pressure on these banks is going to continue to mount until Powell and the Fed start to lower interest rates. It says late Monday, Moody's said it was downgrading the rating of 10 banks due to the low profits and higher funding costs. These banks include MTB, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Commerce Bank shares were among the downgrades. In addition, Moody's is reviewing its ratings on 6 other banks, including Bank of New York Mellon, Northern Trust, State Street, and U.S. Bancorp. The SPDR S&P Regional Bank ETF, KRE, dropped almost 4% in early trading today. So you really got to be careful with these smaller banks that could possibly be over-leveraged. I am not exposed to any of these banks. The banks that I'm in are Warren Buffett is in both Citibank and Ally. And if they're good enough for Warren Buffett, they're good enough for me. And I also am exposed to KeyCorp, which is paying a really good dividend, and they're a very solid bank that's very well diversified and are not, super over leveraged. Okay, that's not the only thing that went crazy today. Buttering as the nation's export hit their lowest level in over 3 years. China's exports tumbled in July, further denting hopes of a post-pandemic economic rebound. The country's outbound shipments slid at their steepest pace since February 2020, per the Wall Street Journal. Heightened geopolitical tensions between Beijing and the United States have pushed some Western buyers to look elsewhere for supply chain needs. Russia and China, who want to hold people hostage, and they have huge human rights issues. So I don't necessarily hate this happening, but if things sour with China, we are going to see price hikes in our daily purchases, especially for consumer goods here in the United States. I do think the world works best when the Chinese economy and American economy can work in a symbiotic way. This way we both can benefit from the other countries in 2023 of its eagerly awaited economic recovery. The domestic housing market faces instability, foreign investment and local spending is down, and deflation looms. Meanwhile, a recent report from the consultancy Terry Group is pretty much saying that not only is China facing a decline in population, but specifically in a drop off in working age citizens. The country reported its first dip in population last year since 1961, and researchers say this is from the one-child policy. In 1975, there were 13 times as many children as elderly people in China, the Terry Group researcher said. By 2050, the UN projects that there will be twice as many elderly people as children. Officials in Beijing are attempting to mute downbeat sentiment. The Financial Times reported Sunday that the government has warned economists and experts not to paint the economy in a negative light. As you know, the Chinese government especially does not like to be looked at in a negative light, especially from the global economy. But that's how China works. They want to sweep everything under the rug and pretend that everything's fine when an actual dumpster fire is happening. So all these things are kind of playing into why the stock market sold off a little bit today. But I do think it will be temporary. We might see, a week or two of kind of some volatility, but I think it will, even itself out, and we'll go into the, fourth quarter with some serious gains ready to be had. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about everything that's going on in the economy right now with the stock market and the banking crisis? Leave me some comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.